Hi, welcome to Living Clean Podcast, the show to help you feel good again. I'm your host, Bonnie Wilderson Hayes. I'm a speaker, certified holistic nutritionist, and founder of Living Clean's healthy lifestyle transformation and nutrition programs. Each week, we will destroy myths and share the truth about the food you are buying and consuming, and provide insight into the best food programs to avoid slowing you down. My purpose is to help you enjoy food again and finally achieve the results that you want. I believe that everyone deserves to enjoy mouth-watering, good-for-you food that doesn't send you running for relief. Now, let's get started. Hey guys, it's Bonnie. I want to talk with you this week about the power of words. I'm sure somewhere along the way you have heard some self-help guru or a health guru or somebody talking about how powerful the words that we speak to ourselves and to our universe are. And, for my purposes, just so you know, universe can be anything. For some of us, it is a God. For others, it's several gods. When I use the word universe, I basically mean whatever higher power you believe is out there. All of us have different beliefs. And I don't think that one word should encompass all of them, but to kind of be respectful to each and every one of us and the differences that we have in our beliefs, I use the word universe. So when you say different words in the universe, especially as you're trying to figure out what's happening with your body and try not to feel like you're deprived, a lot of what helps is simply shifting the words that you use. So the perfect example is a cheat day versus a reward day. So if you've ever heard a lot of trainers, and I was taught the same way, and I use this word a lot. I use the word cheat day a lot, quite often. And here's the one thing that I've realized is when we use cheat day in our society, cheat means something bad. It means that we have falsified something, or we have copied off of somebody else, or we've done something wrong that should lead to a punishment. So cheat in our brains equates to punishment, where reward equates to something positive. We've done something well. We're being acknowledged for the actions that we've taken. When you're on this journey, regardless of whether you're fighting a chronic condition, sensitivities, autoimmunity, inflammation, or you're just a normal person that doesn't have to deal with any of that crap, we all still need to understand that feeding ourselves well should be just second nature, but it's not. And part of the reason it's not is because of things that have shifted in our society and ways that we were taught growing up to view food, eat food, and obtain food. So figuring out how to get around those obstacles, completely different episodes. Otherwise, you and I would be here all day. And I know you have a busy life and you have other things that you would like to do. So let's talk cheat and reward day. So how do we embrace the reward? Well, you're busting butt to make sure that you eat healthy so that you go out and you buy the foods in the right places, or you have them delivered, because you can do that now. And one little tip, if you use Instacart or an outside source to get your groceries delivered, they work on tips. So they're going to pick better produce for you generally. They're going to pick better choices in meats, things like that. So just something to keep in mind. And the better you tip, the better your produce. It's kind of like going into, a restaurant. I go to restaurants so that I don't have to cook. I don't go to a restaurant so that I can, enjoy every good looking food that's on the menu. I would get sick. But, that's something that you have to work hard to make sure that those things happen. If you don't work hard in your career, then you're not paid. So you can't afford the groceries that you need to feed yourself healthy, right? Planning your meals. Sticking with a healthier choice of treat or food at the office birthday parties. That takes a lot of willpower, you guys, especially if your coworkers have little bowls of candy out and they happen to be your natural craving, which we all have them. Some natural cravings just don't go away and they're just there. that's a lot of work. And you want to be able to reward yourself for that, not cheat on yourself. You are not cheating on yourself by going and having a meal with foods or having a day where you just ignore the rules for a day and you just eat whatever you feel like eating at each meal and each snack. We all need those days. They're called mental health days at work and in school. We need it when we're transitioning from an unhealthy lifestyle to a healthy lifestyle, or when we're transitioning from not acknowledging or understanding what our food sensitivities are to living with them. Now, when you go out and you do those, at first, you want to be strategic. Okay, you definitely want to view it as, this is not my cheat day. This is my reward day. I've been very good with my health for a month. I'm going to take a day and I'm just going to go out and enjoy myself. Now, granted, food sensitivities, inflammation, you still have to pay attention to that. But by a month in, some of those should be second nature. Okay, they should be things that you just automatically pay attention to. As far as sticking to a strict regimen or a strict meal plan, something that you've set up, that's when you kind of let it go a little bit and you reward yourself. Now, here's another philosophy from several health coaches that I know who they focus more on your mindset and the psychology of health. Their philosophy is, when you look at your rewards days and you look at rewarding yourself, don't look at it as a food that is rewarding you. Go and do something that you have been saving up for. Or go and buy a shirt that you've wanted from some, high-end designer that you wouldn't normally buy. If you can afford it, go for it. Go and, check out something that you haven't checked out before, or go see a movie and have that movie be your reward at the end of whatever duration of time you've made it through. They're just different options. And when you change your mindset from, this is no longer a cheat day or a, cheat meal, now it's a reward. Now you're looking at it from the perspective of, go me, look at what I've done. I am busting butt and not even stopping to take names. It gives you confidence. It boosts your spirits, and it basically tricks your subconscious into starting to think more positively. Okay. On that same note, there's a couple of other different wordings that we can shift. So instead of using the word can't, like I can't eat that, I can't have this, I can't do this, I can't make this meal in that fryer. Instead of saying can't, shift it. I can have this meal made this way, because all meals can be shifted into healthier versions. Whether they're versions that you enjoy or you don't enjoy are a different story. And that's kind of where everything gets pulled into those reward days and treat days. So mac and cheese, for instance. I have not had a replacement mac and cheese or an alternative recipe that I would consider yummy enough to replace with the old-fashioned standard way of making mac and cheese. I know other people who have tried the alternatives and they love them. They would never go back to eating your old-fashioned standard recipe. If you shift your mindset from I can't do this to let me see how I can make this work with a healthier habit, then you're no longer saying I can never have this or I can never do this. You're saying, let me try a different perspective. Let me think outside of the box. It shifts your mindset into the realm of possibilities. So now we're being positive. You've got possibilities on your horizon. That deprivation that a lot of people feel when they first start something that is as traumatic as a health transformation, because as positive as health transformations are, they are a shock to the system, physically, emotionally, mentally, and psychologically. Okay. So when we shift those mindsets, now we're thinking positively, we've got some progression going, we've got possibilities rolling around in our head. And here's where we shift into another word choice. Okay, so this is hard. I can't believe how hard this is. Oh my God, this is just way too hard for me. It is only hard if you think it is hard. Hard means difficult. It means challenging. But when you shift those word choices and you, instead of saying this is hard and feeling like it is a concrete finality, there is no repercussion, or there's no resolution to it. There's no workaround. There's no way to get around it. If you shift that and say, this is challenging. So eating 5 servings of vegetables every day is a challenge for me. I'm having challenging days. I'm having difficult times that may be rough in moments and maybe exciting in others, tiring in others, and exuberating and exhilarating in still yet others. And yes, eating vegetables can give you all those feelings. Another way to think about this is your needs versus your wants. Okay? I need ice cream tonight. I'm craving it. I need it. You do not need ice cream. You're craving ice cream because you're craving something. So if you look at it from a different perspective, instead of I want ice cream, you want ice cream. At the beginning of any program that you start, and I mean beginning meaning 3 to 6 months, I want you to take those moments, shift your words, start using I want for moments like that, and look at it and kind of decipher, is this a craving because I didn't get something in my diet today that I need? Am I hungry? Or do I just want ice cream or a brownie or, a bag of chips or whatever the thing that you're craving that you're saying I need. And in reality, it's not a need, it's a want. Having complex proteins and a complete protein in your system so that your amino acids pair up, because amino acids are made of 2 separate acids that combine together, making a complete protein. Once we have complete proteins, then our body can digest it, metabolize it, okay? Now, craving a steak means that you need those amino acids. It means that you're lacking something to fuel the energy that you're using. If you've already gotten your sufficient amount of protein in the day, you've gotten your amino acids, and you're still craving a steak, then maybe it's not that you need those amino acids. Maybe it's that you just want a steak. So you need to kind of figure it out and decipher what is happening based on what you have done in your nutrition consumption over the last 24 to 48 hours. Okay? That shifts you from need to want. That's how you can figure out, is this a need or is this a want? And when you shift it from, I just want this, it's a lot easier to say no to something that you want than it is to say no to something that you feel like you need. You must have this or your world is going to crumble. So much easier. So just to kind of summarize all of this, because I know we talked about a couple of different things. Instead of saying, I can't, you'll try. What else can I do to have this in a healthier form? Maybe I can have this. Maybe this path will work instead. So use maybes, use I'll try, you'll use let's see what we can do. See what possibilities there are rather than just saying I can't do whatever or I can't have whatever. Instead of something being hard, it's a challenge. We can all overcome challenges. It may take a little longer, but we can all overcome challenges. Hard means finality. Challenge means there's an open-ended ending. And I hate using those 2 words. Sorry, grammar queens out there. But there's an open ending for this, for whatever the situation is that you're facing. And your final action isn't determined by the words that you use. When you use challenge, it's open-ended. Go have fun, see what happens. Instead of needing something, you want something. Figure out what your absolute needs are versus your absolute wants. Okay? Cheat versus reward or treat. We are not cheating ourselves. We are not punishing ourselves. We are busting butt. We are doing what's right for us, and we are taking care of ourselves. You do deserve and are entitled to rewarding yourself and treating yourself. Doesn't necessarily mean it has to be food. It can be other things like we talked about. So just to kind of give you a generalized explanation of why this all works, our subconscious responds to things that we have trained it and programmed into our brain. When we consciously decide to use these other words and we actively are cognizant and mindful of when we use these words and we start to shift them, then our subconscious starts to use the new, more positive perspective, which ultimately improves your mood. And when we feel better, or when we're happier, and when we feel more satisfied with our world, then what happens, and ourselves, forgot to mention that, more satisfied with our world and ourselves, then what happens is you naturally crave healthier foods. So it's all kind of like playing a mind game with yourself. You're training your subconscious brain from your conscious brain to do things so that you feel better, are happier, have more energy, and are craving healthier foods. Sounds pretty out of this world to some people I know, but try it and let me know what you think. It is pretty crazy how successful you can be when you just shift the words that you use from something negative and final to something that's more open, more positive, and explores possibilities. Thank you so much for listening this week. I can't wait to talk to you guys soon. Have a wonderful week. I will talk to you later. Thank you for listening. Did you love this episode? If so, share this with a friend or someone you think would find it helpful. Leave a review on iTunes, Anchor, Stitcher, or Google Play, and let me know your honest thoughts, questions, and takeaways. Not a fan? I'd still love to hear your feedback. Disagree with anything you've heard? I would love to hear your experience on social media. If you feel like you're still struggling with your health goals, send me a message or check out livingclean.com for details about our nutrition and well-being programs for busy lifestyles. Stop struggling and start enjoying food again. See you next time.
The podcast you just heard was published with Anchor. Got something you want to say to the creator of this show? Send them a voice message using the Anchor app, free for iOS and Android.